What's up, junkies? Welcome to Wrestling Rehab, man. We got a special right here. I'm sitting with the one, the only one, Mr. Chavo Guerrero Jr.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm good. Welcome to Wrestling Rehab,
Thank
man.
you, man. Thanks.
You know, you come here to this small event, big dog. We're like, what makes you do this?
You know, people ask me that all the time, and I'll tell you this. Sometimes the Rolling Stones, not comparing me to the Rolling Stones, but sometimes the Rolling Stones will, play the big arenas. But they say their funnest times is playing like a little small venue, like a little bar. They get to be intimate and meet the people, and that's really why you do it, man. You do it because these fans is awesome. You're here at a church, you're here for an awesome cause, bringing people to the Lord, and that's really why you do it.
Okay.
So you meet the people.
Before I get to my next question, man, do you ever age?
No.
Okay.
We're trying. I'm a vampire. No, we're trying not to age. That's you try to fight it off every second of the day. So that's it, man.
Okay, all right. Listen, man, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little kid. You cannot talk about the history of wrestling without bringing up certain names. One of those names in particular is the Guerrero name.
That's right,
man.
Prominent names in the wrestling world, 100%. Not just saying that 'cause I'm part of it, but I'm proud of it. How's that?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, man. So, some people could say like, hey, you know what? You actually probably had it easy because your family was in wrestling. But what's the pressure? Because, you are a Guerrero, things are expected of you.
Yeah, so what happens is you get the door open for you easier, but as soon as you step through, you're expected to be as good as your family, and it's impossible. It's impossible. I remember first starting out, and man, I was getting frustrated, and Eddie was like, hey man, come here. So he pulled me aside and he goes, they tell your dad he'll never be as good as Grandpa Gory, as Gory Guerrero. They used to tell Eddie, you'll never be as good as your brothers. He should tell me you'll never be as good as Eddie. And it's just what it is. And you're your own person. You're your own wrestler. And that's what it is. The same people that tell Eddie, oh, he's one of the best of all times. You should tell those same people. I remember them saying, well, he's just a cruiserweight. He'll never be as good as his brothers. 100%. You never listen to the haters and you just go out and do your thing.
Hey, just a little bit about that. Wrestling, when you guys were coming up, mostly with the big guys, big bodybuilders and everything, man. You guys became some stars. How was that transition from the big bodybuilder dudes, man, to guys like you? I mean, you guys put on some good shows.
Saying I'm not a big bodybuilder guy or what, man?
Hey, man.
Hey, you know what? This what happened is the Guerreros, we were never big guys. We were small brown guys in a big white world, and that's the truth.
Okay.
And the way that we survived and have had wrestling feed our family for over 85 years is because we learned how to do everything in wrestling. We learned how to sweep up the floor. We learned how to set up the rings. We learned how to be good guys. We learned how to be bad guys. We learned how to be tag team. We learned to be singles. We learned to wrestle in Japan. We learned to wrestle in America, in Mexico, in Europe. We learned how to be managers. We learned how to wrestle with small guys, big guys, fat guys, skinny guys, so that we were able to adapt to anybody. And that's why really it's very hard for the girls to have a bad match. Now we'll think we have bad matches, but the reason why we've been successful in this business is because anybody we get in the ring with, we're able to make look good and have a match with them. That's truth.
One thing about wrestling is not just the athleticism, but the acting ability too, to be able to sell yourself to the audience and everything. So whenever, back in the day, I remember people would look at wrestlers and just kind of take you guys a little bit of a joke, mainstream would just kind of be like, that's wrestling, man, that's fake, they'll never make it and everything. That's been changing in the last few years, man. What's your thoughts on that?
It's true. Now the world's actually realizing, wow, these guys are actually amazing athletes. And you see what the guys are doing nowadays, it's incredible. Stuntmen, martial artists, they looked at wrestling and they're awed. Like, how do you guys do this day in and day out without rehearsing, just going in and just doing it every single night? Just because we're good athletes.
Yeah, going back to the El Paso days, I just continually hear stories of you guys wrestling in your backyard and everything. What you were saying earlier about, hey, you'll never be as good as this person, tell the next person they'll never be as good as that person. Do you think that was just instilled in you guys just to bring the best out of you?
We're just perfectionists, man. When it comes to wrestling, we're like, my dad used to say that he's forgotten more than most people know, and it's kind of the truth because there's 85 years of wrestling, over 85 years of knowledge that's been passed down to us. There's things that I know in wrestling and I don't know how I know them. And that's why I was able to go into Hollywood, and now any wrestling you see on TV and on movies, I'm the guy that puts all that together. And it's because now not only are we doing stuff in the ring, now we're behind the camera and saying this camera's got to do that, switch that lens to here, you know, the way you're going to shoot that over here, you know, telling actors how to pivot and change towards certain camera angles. It's just from years and years and years of doing it, and doing it all of wrestling. That's what it is.
Viva la raza. Everyone's been saying it for a long time. But you brought that up in wrestling, the Viva la raza.
That's right.
How did you come up with that?
That was Raza, that was Brown Pride, man. We decided that's who we are, and we decided to keep saying it, and it caught on.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody bring that to the front in wrestling ever before the way you and Eddie did.
That's right.
You guys came out, Viva la raza, bringing it all up. I really connected to it as a young man, you know, from the barrio and everything, just watching it, like, wow, man, really connecting it. The lowriders and everything.
They didn't know what it was, and WWE, they had no idea what it was. We had explained it to them. So now they're saying it with the LWO, and we're like, that's us. You're knocking it off. Everybody knows who said it.
Right.
Everybody knows who said it, and that was Los Guerreros.
Man.
That's even our voice when they say Viva. That's mine and Eddie's voice on LWO. So
there you go.
There'll be a cease and desist coming up pretty soon.
Chavo, I don't want to take up too much of your time, brother. Any last words for any just wrestling fan, anybody who's upcoming in wrestling, or people that just love watching wrestling? Any last words to them, brother?
Yeah, man, just keep watching it, man. We always say it's the greatest sport in the world, but it's one of the greatest entertainments in the world. So if you keep watching wrestling, you'll understand why it's such a big business now and why the world recognizes it as just great entertainment.
Chavo, gracias so much for your time. Viva la raza.
Simón.
All right. Shouts to all the junkies, Wrestling Rehab. Catch you guys on next one.